Hey friends! So we are going to talk about a new topic this week. I already told you what the topic was. In case you don't remember, it's called I Am an American. So far we've been talking about what does it mean to be American and what are the symbols and images of America. So we're going to read a book today. The first thing that I want to talk about before we read is our skill. We are going to be focusing on predictions. Many of us have already talked about predictions in first grade, so we're just going to go over a little bit what a prediction is. When you start a book, one of the first things you can do is make a prediction. A prediction is a guess you make about a book before you read. Some important things about a prediction is number one, your prediction cannot be random or too silly. Those kinds of predictions are not okay. What you want is a prediction that makes sense. So let's look at our book that we're going to read, and we're going to talk about a prediction we might be able to make. This is the title of our book. This is the title page. Our book is called Dreamers. I'll give you a hint for your prediction. Hints are good for making predictions because then the prediction won't be random. Our book is going to be about something that represents America. We were talking and we made a long list about things that represent America. One of the things that I was talking about that I added to our collage and our representations are certain people called immigrants. This is a book that's going to be something about immigrants. So looking at the title Dreamer, looking at the title page, I know it's very small. I see a woman and a baby and some butterflies, and it says Dreamers. So now looking at what my predictions can be, I'm not going to make a silly prediction. So I won't say something like, I predict this is going to be about space and aliens, because that doesn't make any sense. I want to make a prediction that makes sense. Looking at my title, I'm going to predict this is going to be about a mom and her baby who come to America and have dreams. You think about your own prediction. Let's start reading. I dreamed of you, then you appeared. Together, we became resplendent life, you and I, and crossed a bridge outstretched like the universe. So I see she has her backpack and her baby, and in her backpack are all of these things. I'm going to make a prediction that I think these are images that represent where she came from. It looks like she's coming from the mountains and she's crossing the bridge over to this new place. And maybe where she's coming from, she's bringing her culture. I see this little guy, he's combing his hair, music and flowers, volcano, writing. And when we made it to the other side, thirsty, in awe, unable to go back, we became immigrants. I see here it says immigrants. So now I know that my prediction was correct. These people are immigrants. And where do we predict they're coming to? Where did they just arrive? Look at the picture. Maybe a city, maybe New York City. Migrants, you and I, the sky and the land welcome us in words, unlike those of our ancestors. Okay, so they're coming to a place where their ancestors were not welcome. There are so many things we didn't know, unable to understand and afraid to speak. We made lots of mistakes. So where do you think they arrived? Just by looking at the map. Someplace that was definitely like an island in America. She looks like she's trying to get help, trying to call on the phone. And she says that when they got there, they made lots of mistakes. What kind of mistake is that? It looks like she's washing him in the fountain. You and I became camaraderies. Thousands and thousands of steps we took around this land until one day we found a place we had never seen before. Suspicious, improbable. Where did they go? Yeah, a library. They ended up coming to a library in America. Look at some of these books. These are actual real books that they're looking at. Have you ever seen any of these books? Limpopo is a really famous one. Unbelievable, surprising. Maybe where they came from, they didn't have libraries. Unimaginable. Where we didn't need to speak, we only needed to trust. And we did. That says library card. Books became our language. Books became our home. Books became our lives. We learned to read. So she's learning to read just like you, even though she's already a mom. And she's learning to read now because, remember, she didn't speak English before. Look at that book this little guy's got. That's Gloria. That's a real book too. They learned to speak, to write, to make their voices heard. Someday we will become something we haven't yet imagined. But right now, we are stories. We are two languages. We are lucha. We are resilience. We are hope. We are dreamers. We are love and more. So right now they're saying they are immigrants coming to America, and what they learned to do was read and speak and write. And the whole time in her backpack, she kept things from her from her home where she came from. See here, everything coming out of her backpack.